You're watching RTV News with me, Jane Mutoni. In his capacity as the new chair in office of the Commonwealth, Rwanda's president has said he is going to work to strengthen the bilateral cooperation that exists between the political association's member states. Her Excellency Jeanette Kagame has noted that one of the keys to improving the education of the girl child is to have leaders who understand that girls have the same rights as boys in education. A very warm welcome to the news. In details now, in his capacity as the new chair in office of the Commonwealth, Rwanda's president has said that he is going to work to strengthen the bilateral cooperation that exists between the political association's member states because of the benefits this presents. His Excellency Paul Kagame made the remarks during a press conference on Saturday after the conclusion of CHOGM Rwanda 2022. Take a look.
President Paul Kagame held a press conference alongside the Secretary General of the Commonwealth, the Prime Minister of Samoa, who will be the next chair of the Commonwealth in 2 years' time, as well as the presidents of Guyana and Sierra Leone. The new chair in office of the Commonwealth made his priorities during his tenure clear.
There has been good participation throughout, both in terms of numbers of leaders in attendance, as well as the valuable contributions made on issues that are important to all of us. We are all committed to values of the Commonwealth, no question, but it's not for one group to define and measure who lives up to it. The Commonwealth is diverse, and we respect that diversity. As chair in office, we look forward to working towards strengthening the partnerships within the Commonwealth for the benefit of all our citizens.
With the challenges the COVID-19 pandemic has presented to the world and the Commonwealth of Nations in particular, strategic measures must be implemented to address those challenges, and done as one.
A number of new principles, declarations and frameworks were endorsed, and you will find them all in our communiqué. But key to them were the following: the Living Lands Charter, a call to action on living lands, which seeks to put into place actions to support the 3 Rio Conventions. The Kigali Declaration on Childcare Reform, the Declaration on Sustainable Urbanization, and last but not least, the Declaration on Gender Equality and Women's Empowerment. These instruments will serve as guiding frameworks for the work of the Commonwealth in the years ahead, complementing the vital work the Secretariat already does on issues on the environment, democracy, and anti-corruption, to connectivity, health, and education.
The new chair in office's skills as a leader will be important in addressing the challenges the Commonwealth family of nations has continued to face.
Perhaps if we can sum this up, what the world needs now and Commonwealth needs now is stability, bold, innovative, and visionary thinking. And the combination of our SG and the incoming chair offers us a great opportunity. When you look at what President Kagame has achieved here with the people of Rwanda, it tells about a leader in a country that has a vision, bold initiatives, creative initiatives, And when you look at the crisis and insecurities we are facing in the world today, food crisis, energy crisis, a climate crisis, a crisis of inequality, will require this type of leadership and these characteristics to navigate us through these difficult paths. And I think President Kagame coming in at this time as chair would help greatly the Commonwealth family to navigate through this path, and with the SG bringing that stability and pushing those programs, I think we have an excellent opportunity to confront these challenges. And I said to President Kagame a few moments ago that many times the developing world would look to the developed world for answers and best practices. What Rwanda has shown the developing world is that we can have the answer among ourselves and within ourselves too. And it is this type of leadership and example by doing that is required in creating some of the changing circumstances that is so critically needed.
During the press conference, President Paul Kagame also took the time to point out that it is unfortunate when countries are victimized for problems they did not bring upon themselves.
Some of them have actually been the cause of the problems we face. But at the same time, like the genocide here that took place here in Rwanda, where 1 million people over were killed. Well, I remember, if you remember yourselves, you were too. I'm not inventing anything. The debate that went on at the UN, it was like, you know, these developed rich countries, those who define values, simply took it like, these are just Africans killing each other. These debates were in the open. But you think that is true? You think the divide that actually led to this genocide was just a creation of Rwandans? Not the people from the north who actually divided this country? Told people to think of themselves as belonging to one ethnic group and the other to think as belonging to another ethnic group, and therefore they should kill each other. Not only are they different, but they should kill each other. Would you believe that?
He went on to stress that Rwanda's judicial system should not be criticized for functioning within its proper legal framework over personal sentiments that cannot be allowed to trump justice.
Let me tell you something instead. Actually, there are people who are not in prison who should be there. There are no people who are in prison that shouldn't be there. But there are people who are not in prison who actually should be there. And I'll explain to you if you want. I know, for example, I've been seeing journalists writing all kinds of things. Take somebody, praise her or him, and make them champions of all kinds of things. That's fine. I wish these people are making them champions of their own situations, if they wanted them, but not of our situations. And I give you some details. And what I meant when I said what I said. Take an example who is always written about, and people who have been here even during this Chogam, and they were visiting. There's a woman called Ingabire Victoire, whom BBC and others want to always sing about being the face of the opposition. Okay, fine. And this is one I was referring to. She's not in prison now but should be in prison now. She was in prison, she committed a crime for which she was tried in the court of law. She was actually sentenced and imprisoned. The government, the president, under the prerogative of the masses, president has that powers. Actually, this woman was released from prison before she served her full sentence. And it wasn't because she was not guilty or whatever. I'll tell you something else which shows double standards, which lead to these things you were asking. She was tried on the basis of evidence that was provided by European countries working with our own justice system. You see, it wasn't just done here. It was done between us and some European countries who provided evidence, corroborating with the evidence we had, and that's on the basis of which she was tried and sentenced and put in prison. Now, but some people decide to make that person an angel of freedom and democracy and something like that. Where does it come from? But she's out there. She's not in prison. But this I'm saying, she'd actually be in prison if we hadn't just forgiven her. Okay, we forgive her to be out of prison so that you can pick her and pump her and praise her. Okay, that's fine. If that serves, but I wish it was serving something good for the country. That's okay. Then you have another person whom the very people I was referring to picked, praised, made him a celebrity. You know.
The Commonwealth of Nations has more than 2.5 billion people and should have 3 billion by 2030.
As Rwanda assumes the chair of the Commonwealth, President of the Republic of Rwanda, His Excellency Paul Kagame, has assured the youth of the political association that they will work together to find solutions to the challenges and obstacles that hinder their development and well-being. Olive Nete has this report.
On Saturday at the Kigali Convention Center, some of the heads of state held discussions with Commonwealth youth representatives. The discussions are themed intergenerational dialogue. Leaders of the Commonwealth Youth Council from Africa, Asia, Europe, Canada, Pacific and the Caribbean presented to the heads of state some of the challenges still faced by the youth, which they want to see addressed. Sagufta Salma Janiv, a youth representative from the Pacific, explains it more.
We want our voices to be included in discussions about trade, entrepreneurship and employment, because we want to work in areas we are passionate about. We all want to serve a purpose and we want to take charge of our future. We are ready to take that responsibility. Our entrepreneurs, our healthcare workers, our students, all the young people want to work with you to drive these actions forward. Choose to trust us, elevate our voices, and let us make our own choices. Things will happen once you choose for it to happen. Your Excellencies, it's your choice to take us forward with you or to leave us behind.
The President of the Republic, His Excellency Paul Kagame, identified cooperation as a powerful weapon to address all those challenges, including the fact that many of these challenges are also faced by adults.
It is clear the way the whole world, and particularly the young people, they face problems of climate change, of unemployment, and access to skills, to finance, to technologies. All of these are things that we have to pay attention to together. Working together is the first thing. Together as members of the Commonwealth, together the young, the old, so that, there are not going to be always just the problems for the youth and then problems for the old and then problems. I think there are those that cut across and we share. So that's why it is important that we work together. So what we can say as leaders, at least on my part, I know similar to others, is to commit ourselves that we shall listen, we shall work together, we shall find solutions along the way. There is no question about it.
The Secretary General of the Commonwealth, Patricia Scotland, applauded Rwanda for being an exemplary country in good governance that cares about the youth.
Firstly, can I join everyone in really congratulating His Excellency President Paul Kagame, because what we have seen in Rwanda is not just words, but we've seen the dream come true. And in 28 years, Your Excellency, you have transformed this country and transformed the prospects for young people. And the leaders in our Commonwealth don't just talk, they do. And today is the beginning of what will be an amazing year, because in 2023, it's going to be the year of youth.
Prime Minister of Canada, Justin Trudeau, who also joined the discussions, emphasized more on what President Paul Kagame pointed out, that they will keep working closely with the Commonwealth youth, but he also stressed that the youth should take responsibility.
I know there's a tendency when we have gatherings like this where young people come and present and share their perspectives, for a lot of us in the room to nod and say, those young people are the future leaders of the Commonwealth. You are the leaders of tomorrow. And I don't want anyone to think about that anymore with you young people. We don't need you to be leaders tomorrow when you do a few more years of school and work your way into politics or business and then suddenly become leaders. We need you to be the leaders you are today. We need to recognize that the words you have today, the voices you have today, and not just the things you can tell leaders like us that we should be working on, but the things you can do and must do yourselves is what the world needs, is what the Commonwealth needs. To build on what Paul has said, we need you acting. And in order to do that, is what the world needs, is what the Commonwealth needs. To build on what Paul has said, we need you acting. And in order to do that, we need to make sure we're empowering you as much as we can.
The proposals of the 7th Intergenerational Dialogue are based largely on the resolutions adopted at the Commonwealth Youth Forum, which preceded other meetings related to the meeting of the heads of state. Other dignitaries who attended the discussions included the President of Seychelles, the Prime Minister of Samoa, and the Prime Minister of Pakistan, who delivered his message online. Olive Nete, RTV News.
Her Excellency Jeanette Kagame has noted that one of the keys to improving the education of the girl child is to have leaders who understand that girls have the same rights as boys in education. She mentioned this on Saturday in a meeting with her counterparts from other countries who attended the Choga meeting. The First Lady of Rwanda, Her Excellency Jeanette Kagame, accompanied by other First Ladies who attended the Choga meeting, reviewed the progress made in Rwanda in the field of handicraft, capacity building for girls, and women's development. The event was preceded by a visit to handicraft activities including embroidery, various customs and ornaments, baskets, and related items and other traditional materials. One of the exhibitors is Epa Binamungu, an artist who has been in the art profession for nearly 50 years.
Forum, for me, it is a very good opportunity to show how is the art in Rwanda, how is my art, how I'm seeing art in the world now. Because being an artist is not to be artist only. It is to be artist and follow how is going, how is the worth is going, how is the life, and being with people, with the society.
Rwandan coffee was highlighted and its continued role in the development of women and their families in general. In this event, the origin of coffee was explained and how it is processed before delivery to the market and how it is processed before consumption. Participants were briefed on the status of coffee in all categories and had the opportunity to hear about 5 different types of coffee from different parts of Rwanda. So far, more than 30,000 women working in agriculture have found their market in the question coffee, where they are paid in dollars for what they say has already changed their lives.
icyiza tubona nuko iyo uhinze ikawa ukayikurikirana.
The good thing is that when you grow coffee and monitor every step, the income is rewarding. It benefits us as farmers because the coffee is ours. We benefit from the good price. People believe that a woman's development is the family's development because a woman uses the income for family necessities such as health insurance, children's education. In a nutshell, the family life improves.
Imyigire y'abana muri make ubuzima bw'urugo buba bwabonye umurongo.
In this event, the Imbuto Foundation highlighted the progress that has been made in the field of girl-child education. In her remarks on the education of a girl child, Her Excellency Jeanette Kagame says that in Rwanda and in the Commonwealth in general, there are girls who had the opportunity to study and emerged as experts. She says the education of the girl child should continue to be supported.
I've been blessed to found and chair Imbuto Foundation. If we want to improve girls' access to education around the world, our leadership choices must be a testament to our goals. We must elect leaders that defend the vision where girls and boys are equally able to access the classroom and equally empowered and equipped to thrive in it. We must agree that as a developmental issue, investment in girls' education is an investment in Commonwealth countries, economies, and progress.
The Imbuto Foundation has been working for 20 years on health, education, and youth empowerment. In terms of education, the organization has rewarded more than 6,000 girls who excelled in the national exams and funded education for more than 8,000 students, of whom majority are girls. The Imbuto Foundation has used their platform to amplify women in business to the Commonwealth nations in an exhibition attended by Her Excellency Jeanette Kagame and fellow First Ladies. Princess Kirezi has this report.
The Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting that took place in Rwanda has impacted a lot of lives as well as careers, and today was no exception. At the Imbuto Foundation exhibition event this Saturday, different women-led businesses were given the opportunity to showcase their work to Chogam guests, as well as the First Lady, which has given their businesses the chance to blossom.
It's been really great. The exposure is amazing. We get to meet different kinds of people, which actually really has helped boost our business because we've come in contact with different business people from Nigeria. They left our contacts and we're going to be collaborating with them. We come from a country where our talent as a female, they're nurtured, they're fostered, and having the meeting happen here in Rwanda, it's been really great.
The notion that women have the ability to run successful businesses has been put at the forefront of the exhibition, and some are of the view that there is space in the future for young women to live out their entrepreneurial dreams.
Welcome each and everyone to experience the opportunity. Don't say that this will be for men and for old people. Just get in it and work on it. Women can do anything.
Like the Commonwealth, Imbuto Foundation intends to empower young women to take over the future and has facilitated the education of thousands so far, which Sandrine Umutoni, the foundation's Director General, has shed light on.
the network of this alumni is made of different professions, not just businesses. So the exhibition that you have here today is actually in partnership with other organizations as well. So we are recognizing the women who have been starting their own businesses, whether in agribusiness, who have their own businesses, whether it's in the banking sector, the financial sector. Again, like I mentioned earlier, we have women who have entered the medical professions and again are there to inspire the younger sisters. So today's event, which is hosted by Her Excellency, the First Lady of Rwanda, is there to celebrate womanhood in Rwanda and all the great accomplishments that have been made possible, again, thanks to the drive of the government, the support of the government, and all these policies that have been put in place really to support women empowerment in Rwanda.
Imbuto Foundation has been operational for the past 20 years and continues to put developing young women at its core, which has been achieved thanks to their collaboration with the government of Rwanda. Precious Chidezi, RTV News.
Thank you, Precious, for that report. Now, Rwanda's Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation has given assurances to civil society and associated organizations within the Commonwealth that their concerns will be taken into consideration by the political association's member states. Take a look.
The assurances were given on Saturday as Dr. Vincent Viruta chaired a roundtable with civil society and associated organizations within the Commonwealth, during which the resolutions of the Commonwealth People's Forum were reviewed.
Let me congratulate you for a successful Commonwealth People's Forum, especially for those who traveled to Kigali to participate in it. We look forward to learning more about the outcomes of the People's Forum. The Commonwealth Foundation, civil society and associated organizations will raise the issues that they see as current priorities for the Commonwealth with the aim of promoting dialogue on these matters. Your questions and contributions on the themes that they raise will be more than welcome.
The importance of such dialogue was also emphasized by the Director General of the Commonwealth Foundation.
The Foundation was absolutely honoured to work so closely with the Rwanda Governance Board in delivering what we believe was a memorable and inspirational event this week in Kigali. As I mentioned to the foreign ministers when speaking a couple of days ago, in preparing the forum, we reached out and listened to Commonwealth civil society, and the message that came back to us was very clear. We need much better ideas. We need more powerful, diverse voices to properly hold ourselves, our governments, and those who exercise power to account. We need the voices and ideas that will lead to genuine transformation of systems and attitudes that entrench inequality and that marginalise so many of our fellow human beings.
This is the fourth time a Foreign Affairs Ministers' Roundtable with civil society and associated organizations has been organized.
Mining sector at the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting say the industry in Rwanda is going through a transition, moving to global quality standards. Isabel Masozera has this report.
Mining is one of the key drivers of economic development in Rwanda, just as it is in a number of Commonwealth countries. Mining in Rwanda started in the 1930s, and since then the mining sector has undergone wide reforms and is now Rwanda's second largest export revenue earner in the country. It is against this backdrop that the government of Rwanda established a mining board to redesign the mineral sector to deliver higher level results, which some sector players at the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting are now crediting for the progress realized and the ability to compete globally.
So we have the quality that is good even on international market. Our amethyst and our jewelries are the best. So we always aim for the quality, not quantity.
However, for some entrepreneurs, it is a different story, as they have to outsource some elements from developed countries to meet global expectations.
So because we want to compete at the global level, at Commonwealth level, and then it's really important that we have that international quality. So for the moment, what we do, the design are typical Rwandan, and some of them African, and really it represents as the one you just tried on, imigongo, basket, most of the time Rwandan art, and but at a very high quality level. And that's why for the moment we are producing our laboratory, it's in Europe, but on long run, our aim is to get it produced here. And fortunately, we already have Rwanda mining here that can refine gold, and that can also have a nice international level cut of stone, which we can use, which in terms of business, it's going to be even cheaper for us to buy from Rwanda, and it can make us even more competitive. And that will be from the starting point to the end, will be made in Rwanda.
Rwanda is one of the fastest growing economies despite the devastating impact and consequences of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi, a notable fact and attraction for foreign mining investors ready to seize the moment and to invest while injecting in new momentum and contributing to elevate the mining sector.
I've seen quality, but we need to improve to compete with the rest of the world, and this is where Solex will not only be doing business but also helping in terms of training to improve the standard of quality in the sector.
According to Ambassador Yamina Kaitanyi, CEO of Rwanda Mines, Petroleum and Gas Board, Rwanda's mining sector has untapped potential that presents lucrative investment opportunities for local and foreign investors in the entire value chain, from exploration to value addition.
I'm excited that we are now looking at adding value to our products. As you know, mining has taken place in Rwanda for a good 60-70 years, but we're exporting raw materials for others to add value and create wealth. Now we are creating good products in Rwanda, adding value to our minerals, and for the good quality products that are being mined in Rwanda, also offering a fine finished product. So that's very exciting because it's a new chapter that we are opening. You saw we have beautiful jewelry, beautiful decorative pieces of art, and I think it completes what we are starting in terms of value addition. The jewelry making is only one portion of what we are looking at. We're also, of course, doing refinery of gold. We have a tin smelter. We are going to have a coltan refinery. So those are the big projects. But as we do that, we are also developing our jewelry making products and creating very memorable pieces of art that could then be scaled and shared within the Commonwealth and beyond, telling the story of mining in Rwanda, confirming that these minerals are found in Rwanda and that they are beautiful and they are memorable and they are high quality products and high value products. So we're excited. I'm going to show you this ring. It's produced by Ngali, which is one of our companies. And here you see the pre and post. So this is the rough cut, beautiful cut still, but then it shows you how you can refine it once it's cut and processed, what it represents. So I think this completes the picture of what you've seen today, and that more is to come.
Rwanda's long-standing mining history dates back to German exploration during World War I. Isabel Masozera, RTV News.
Well, that story sums up tonight's bulletin. On behalf of the entire news production team, thank you so much for your company. I'm Jane Mutoni. Bye for now.